Hello everybody, my name is David. Thank you for joining me today. I'm a life coach helping people recover from trauma. Any of you like to see me, talk to me, book a session? I'm taking clients right now, offering a discount of $49 for the first hour during this crisis. Got another week left, I think. You can find me at daviddemars.com. Thank you. This is part 2 of my question and answer video. I'm answering people's questions from last week. Ask me anything down below in the comment section, okay? Thank you. I'm going to get started right in because there's so many questions from Sheena from London, United Kingdom. Hello, Sheena. Are the illiterate, borderlines, and narcissist types more cunning and dangerous than the educated, smart, borderline narcissist types? My ex-husband was ridiculously illiterate but smart with manipulation, gaslighting, projection, smear campaigning, setting me up with provocation, etc. No contact is slowly making me detached from this sick nightmare I kept myself in. I'm out. Thank you for teaching us the truth about these characters. And thank you very much, Sheena, for your question. So what I've learned is there's no correlation with personality disorders and your intelligence. None. And it's really rare, I guess. There's always some kind of correlation like that in psychology, but there isn't. None at all. It doesn't matter what someone's intelligence is that affects them, why they have a personality disorder. Now, your question is could the more cunning and dangerous, or can the more educated be more cunning and dangerous? Sure. Can the more smart be more cunning and dangerous? Sure. But these are behaviors, and these are learned behaviors, and so they've learned this stuff starting with their parents. They're enabling parents. They learned how to lie and manipulate, cheat, steal, and it's about everything they got away with, okay? When I hear a victim come to me and say, oh, I feel sorry for my abuser, I just wanted to help them. What they really were doing is enabling them. If you wonder if you should go and be nice to your ex-borderline because they might hurt themselves or they might do something this, so I better keep being there and keep telling them they're okay and keep being there for kind of answer the phone and everything. No, you're enabling them and enabling them and enabling them. People make the biggest changes in their life because of loss, fear of loss at least. They lose everything, people stop talking to them, time to change. Yeah, not saying that they'll just cure themselves, but the abusive, exploiting behavior needs to stop. So I hope that answers your question. Can being intelligent help you more? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but really realize that they're learning all this and becoming better and better and better at it. Our brains simply help us by what we're doing, by becoming better and better and better at what we are doing. So as we keep making choices, it builds an architecture in our brain, right? Neurons connecting, and it's just all about trying to make us better at it, and it remembers and it learns, you know? So when you didn't confront them on certain things, or whatever, something they got away with you, they'll go try it again with the next person. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Thank you, Sheena. Renee, don't know where you're from. Renee, please tell us your locations, guys. Tell us where you are from. David, can you talk about when you see your ex for the first time since no contact and the amount of triggering that it causes? Well, it depends, right? It depends where you're at in your recovery, right? I haven't seen, like, one of my most toxic exes. I haven't seen them not once since we broke up. But it's been so years, I wouldn't care. I honestly wouldn't care. But it would have freaked me out in the first 30 days. And it would have been a little bit different in 6 months. Totally different. It's just all different, you know, because you're going through different stages as well. So right in the beginning, it's going to be maybe re-traumatizing. But after many, many years, at some point, you're not going to care. So, you know what I mean? That matters. So you were asking, what about the first time you see your ex after going through no contact and the amount of triggering that it causes? So you're talking about when it still triggers you. So one point I want to bring up, that so you guys know, that someone who's abused us and traumatized us repeatedly over time, it could be a short time, when we end this relationship and we stop talking to them and we're going no contact for a while and we don't see them, we do this thing where we monster size them and we make them so much bigger and so much badder and so much worse and so much more scary. And we get scared of seeing them, and then when we can, our brain will freak out because our brain just cares about survival. And maybe at this point, your brain has determined that this person is deadly, dangerous, danger, right? So you see them, and your brain reacts in all kinds of in ways that our body reacts to danger. It releases cortisol and adrenaline, and and that causes lots of anxiety and panic attacks. Yeah, panic. Yeah, it's sad. But it gets better over time, and the whole point of all of it is to heal from your past, so when your past comes up again, it doesn't feel bad. You know? A lot of times when I ask my clients to talk about their childhood, I just ask them, so how do you feel about talking about your childhood? And when I bring up your childhood, how does that feel to you? Most of them, you're like, oh, it's okay, or, oh, it's scary, I don't want to talk about that, oh, we got some things we got to talk about, Yeah. Hope that makes sense. I'm from California. I have filed for divorce from my narcissistic ex after 12 years. I have moved on and found someone who is loving and healthy. Now my ex kept saying I cheated on him and cursed me to death. He also put all the blames on me and completely disregarded how badly and abused he had treated me. There had been a ton of injustice and unfairness from him and his family members all along. I can let go. However, I have a very hard time letting him get away. Oh, and this is from Shelly in California. Now I see your name. Hi, Shelly. Nope. Actually, hold on. That wasn't Shelly. Okay, so I was horrible on this. I cut off your name and I cut off the very last thing you said. But the gist of it is you said that the interesting part was there had been a ton of injustice and unfairness from him and his family members all along. You said, I can let go. However, I have a very hard time letting him get away with it. That's not letting go. And you don't have to let go. It's up to you. But we need to work through this and understand it. Okay? Because that's what healing is. And it seems like you just haven't healed from this stuff yet. That's why it's bothering you still. And one thing I have to say is, why are you said you've moved on, found someone. Now my ex is saying that you cheated on him and cursed him to death. The more you know, and I know this sucks to hear. I'm so sorry. Really, I am. It's so much stress, and I wish we didn't have to deal with this stuff. But the more you are confident with who you are, it won't matter what people say about you. The more that you're confident with who you are, the more you won't let people say this happened when you know only this happened and this didn't happen. That won't bother you as much. It won't get in there and get in here so badly, even your ex-husband. Really understanding this will help you calm down with it, because this is him, not you. He's dealing with this, and this is how he's dealing with it. Okay? Not very well, is he? He's rewriting the narrative so he doesn't feel so bad. Okay? He has a ton of shame, and I would imagine he's a narcissist or borderline, has tons and tons of shame, feels like a horrible person, and he can't tell himself everything's going to be okay, I'll be okay, and this is how he's doing it. He cares, and he thinks who he is what people see. So he needs to convince everybody that he's okay, so then he'll think he's okay. Start trying to understand this more. I know you're in a relationship now, and you said you have moved on and found someone else. No, you haven't. You just found someone else. You haven't moved on, and the other part you said you want to, and you said I can let go, but you're not. I'm sorry. I have to say that. That's my job, I feel like, So you haven't moved on. You just found someone, and you're in a loving and healthy relationship. That is doubtful too. It's almost impossible that we go from massive abusive relationship to a loving, healthy right away. I'm not saying it's been right away. I don't know. But it says you moved on and found someone who is loving and healthy. Now my ex kept saying, you shouldn't listen to what he's saying. You shouldn't be telling. No one should be telling you. You shouldn't be looking. So that's got to stop. Who's ever telling you needs to be out of your life, or tell them to stop. And if you're looking, that's not very healthy. Stop looking. Okay, we need to heal from this. And it's not about, oh, I'm in a healthy relationship now, so it's all good. No. No, 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 no. There's so much to learn why you were in a 12-year marriage with someone who has a personality disorder. You've got to learn. You've got to learn this, or it's just a crime and you might repeat it again. And at the very least, your loving and healthy relationship, I can't believe that you guys meet all your emotional needs in that relationship. That's going to be very difficult, because then I would only ask you, why? Why didn't you have that in your marriage? And you're going to say, because he was a narcissist. Well, why were you dating a narcissist? And why did you not have your needs met for 12 years? That seemed to be okay for 12 years. And you left that. I don't know, maybe it's been years since then. And you've gone through tons of therapy, but this is still bothering you. And rightly so, I get it. I'm not blaming you, but this is bothering you. You're not healed from it. We need to heal. So just understand and take all the time you need to. You probably should be talking about this with your husband. You should be talking about this with your therapist, your life coach, and bouncing stuff off your friend. And okay, good luck. Good luck. I'm sorry that you have to deal with this stuff. And I wish you in your new relationship lots of luck. Okay, so this is from Shelly in California. Hello, Shelly. Currently dealing with a toxic person in the workplace. Do you have any tips on how to decide when it's time to leave or stay and learn how to handle it? I'm going to be moving, so I won't have to worry too much, but I know this can happen in the next job. It's just sad to see how toxic people can leave so much destruction in their wake. I'm trying to be compassionate towards this person who I know is suffering. That's why they hurt people. So the best advice I have for anybody that has work-related issues, because I've just seen this so many times, and I'm right, and it just helps. Even if I'm not right, it helps. Our brains, there's a part of our brain over here that manages and controls our work and life and our day-to-day activities. Totally different part of our brain over here that controls our emotional parts, our private lives, okay? Totally different, totally separate, right? And when we have a fight with our loved ones at night, in our personal life, it's so upsetting, and we go to bed and we don't feel good about it. We get up in the morning and there it is again, and we go to work, and all of a sudden this goes down an hour at work. And it doesn't feel so bad. It's down here, it's over here. It's not in part of my brain, because you are in this part of your brain now. You can't be in both. You're in this part now. That's why people become workaholics. And anytime somebody has problems with a coworker or their boss or all these customers at work and stuff like this, you may, and there might be lots of things you can do, right? But I'm not at work with you. You didn't really ask me anything specific at all. So my best advice always is leave work, right? Because we're not always at work. So now you're at home, and increase this part of your life. Because when you increase this part of your life, now it's like this. Now this doesn't really matter so much. I go to work to make money, not friends. I have friends, see? So I don't have to worry about being friends with people at work. People that have no friends at all and no social life at all, they try and do it at work, don't they? They get too personal, and they tell you what's going on in their personal life all the time, and they cry, and they think who they are is their job title, and everything becomes about work, what they make, and it's just, no. This is what matters. This meets your physical needs. That's it. Easy schmeezy. This is emotional needs. Much more important. Don't mix them, right? You go to work to make money, not friends. We don't date people at work, okay? And we leave our work at work and don't take it home. And you know, it's like when somebody has a horrible failed relationship, right? People that have 10 family members and that are really happy and healthy and they talk to frequently, and also have 10 friends that are really happy and healthy and they talk to all the time frequently, that failed relationship isn't near as bad. It isn't. But when we're in an abusive relationship and that toxic person helped us lose all of our friends and all of our family, and there's nobody there, and when we lose that relationship and it fails, when we lose that person, and it fails, oh man, that's it. That's everything. That's everything. It's my entire social life, entire personal life, emotional life. It's everything. Now I'm going to go to work and stay at work all the time, and now I have problems at work. God, why won't my friends at work listen to me? They're not your friends. They're your coworkers. Well, I really like Lisa. She's cute over here. No, stop. Don't let Lisa. That's work. I'm serious. So I don't even have to give you any advice at work. You can help most of this stuff by having a great social life. Okay? And I have tons of videos on how to do that. Look at my CPTSD playlist. Thanks, Shelly. Hello from Canada. Hello. I have been engulfed in so much personal development, and I have learned a lot. And I've learned that a lot of close people in my life are toxic to my mental and emotional health, and I've never given back what I give. It's a wonder I was feeling so drained. I have had to drop some people, and I'm so learning to develop boundaries for the few I keep at a distance. I knew I needed help to get through this time in my life, as I noticed I was very dependent on the toxic relationships. I am extremely codependent, and so I have found a therapist. We have begun speaking my childhood, and I find it extremely hard to remember how I felt. Like I am detached. As far as I know, things were normal. I developed dermatillomania as a young kid, and now I am 34 years old, still dealing with it. Do you know much about this, and or what could have happened in my childhood to develop such a horrible coping strategy? Or even better, please give me advice on how I can get to the bottom of it and heal so I can stop. I plan also to keep seeing my counselor. Thanks so much. Your videos help so much. Thank you for telling me. Thank you. That's awful. I'm sorry. And the experience I have with dermatillomania is, you call it a coping strategy. It's obsessive compulsive. I had a friend in high school. He was one of my best friends, and had him for many, many years after high school. And he had that. He would not, and oh, what it is, everybody, is it's picking at your skin, and picking at scabs, picking at things until they bleed. It's a coping mechanism. It's obsessive compulsive behavior. And another thing I noticed, my friend who did this, he would take his hair and just sit there and just keep twisting it and twist it and twist it and twist it, and he would literally like rip it out of his head and have a bald spot there. He'd do that frequently, and he picked at everything, pick. His mother was histrionic. His mother was one of the nastiest people I've ever known in my life. She was really gross. And I don't mean to judge. And she's passed now, so is he, so is my friend. But I knew them very well, like family. And she was so histrionic. She was hysterical. Every single day, every single night. Caused massive problems. Rode him all the time. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? That's no good. Don't do that. That's stupid. That's not good. They can't do this. Oh my God, you won't believe this. Oh my God, guess what? And just all the things she would say is happening to me. I got to go to the hospital. Oh my God, you're causing me so much stress. Why are you doing this to me? Oh my God. And it was just all day and night, as he would sit there and go, twist his hair like this and pick and just, oh my God, dude, I can't take this. And he always looked like this. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was so sad. And it's just like the ultimate walking on eggshells all the time. And it's just traumatizing a little kid as they get older throughout their childhood. So you ask me, how do you deal with it? You deal with your core issues. You got to start now by cutting all the stress out of your life. That's the first thing I do with my clients. We can't heal from stress while we're stressed. Cognitive behavioral therapy, dialectical behavior therapy, those will definitely help you. I don't know if that's something your therapist already recommended, but we need to be very aware of our behaviors and why, and start learning to understand what our body's doing, and start learning how to make it feel better and feeling more in control of our lives, okay? And you're gonna learn, that will come by learning how to deal with people and protect yourself and get what you want from people, both, okay? That's the only way that's gonna be fixed. Good luck. KM from AZ. I realized that I had become abusive even if it was reactionary towards their financial betrayals, gaslighting, triangulation, blame shifting, etc. I had started to use narcissistic tactics as I was becoming defensive. I'm working on my self-love and self-compassion, but it isn't equating to my self-forgiveness. Thanks for sharing your knowledge, David. Thank you. Thank you. Self-compassion. Once we realize how bad our abusers had it, it makes us understand why they are the way they are. Then hopefully we can turn that more inwards and start realizing, oh God, these people are so bad in my life, and they it's horrible for me and what I had to go through with them in my life. Self-compassion. Yeah. Reactionary abuse. You started to use narcissistic tactics. That's so common, right? I mean, someone pushes us, and we finally react because we don't know how to stop it. We don't know how to stop it. We don't feel worthy enough to walk away, right, and end it. And here we are. We're stuck in this. We feel stuck. We feel helpless, and we feel hopeless. And we moved our principles around, compromised who we are. And honesty used to be very valuable to us, and integrity and respect, treating people with respect. And we thought abuse was wrong. And here we are accepting abuse. And here we are maybe lying now. And as we move our principles around more and more, it becomes easier and easier and easier to cheat, lie, and steal. You know, it just does. It just becomes always easier and easier and easier to do that. I'm glad you are aware of your behaviors and start understanding your situation more. Start understanding where you came from, and start understanding right away your tiny little self when you were a little child. Start understanding how hard you had it, and everything you do to try to cope, everything you do to just try to protect yourself, and no one taught you how, and we're not born knowing. So much for a little child to take on. So much for a little child to not have unconditional love, that feel like all that matters is what I do for it, and I didn't do enough all the time, and I can't stop people hurting me, and I can't get away from it. I don't know how to ask for what I want. It's just so tough. Doesn't that sound traumatizing just on its own? Thank you. Chris, Victoria Riley. Hello, Chris. Wow, that's a lot of questions. Glad you got through, David. Hope all these people find the healing they deserve. It's so sad. I would really appreciate your perspective on a question, please. Is shame the root cause to all disorders? And is it all PTSD, especially the cluster B disorders? Thank you for your time. Your friendly neighborhood Goff from the United Kingdom. Well, I'm not going to say shame would be the root of all disorders, because there's three parts that make up who we are. Our personality, and personality is developed in adulthood, and so it's our upbringing, and it's our genetic makeup, and it's our culture. So it's not all shame. Some of this stuff has genetic links. So I wouldn't say all, but man, shame has so much to do with it, because a lot of this is reaction to trauma, childhood trauma, and all that is internalized, and we don't understand it. And that means shame. Trauma equals shame. Okay? I don't know if you guys know that. Trauma equals shame. Or it wouldn't be traumatic. The fact that we don't understand it means that we are bad people. We believe that in some sense of the word. Narcissists don't know who they are. They're all ego, which means deep down inside, they don't know who they are. They feel like a piece of crap. They're very, very insecure, very low self-esteem. Probably, you could say narcissistic personality disorder is the disorder you have for the lowest self-esteem. Whereas the borderline doesn't have a self. It's a total reaction to trauma. Trauma equals shame, right? These are all lots of very shame-based disorders. The antisocial, the sociopath, full of shame, doesn't care, thinks everyone's a bad person. Histrionic, same as borderline, all reaction to trauma, and that's cluster B. So maybe cluster B, but no, not the base root for all disorders. Thanks, Chris. Alrighty. Selena from Romania. Hello, Selena. Thanks for everything. What are the signs that you start healing from narcissistic toxic abuse? Well, one that maybe that you're asking. Maybe that's a sign, huh? Best sign? Doesn't hurt anymore, right? Another sign? You can explain it really well. Another sign is that it feels good. That you know the truth. The truth is what feels good. When it still hurts, there's something we believe that's wrong. There's something we don't understand. Something. Even if you guys like, no, I understand it, but it still hurts. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed. That's somebody else's problem. You're letting them put it onto you. You don't always have to explain it really well. A good student doesn't mean a good teacher, right? That's difficult. But if you can explain it really well, that's a good sign. That you can explain why, that you understand and explain why this happened to you really well. Emotions calming down, anxiety going down, sleeping better, more positive outlook on life and people, not so black and white. Exploring the world in your own special best interests, forming more relationships instead of less. Your physical health. Your biography becomes your biology. Now that you're rewriting your story of life and you are becoming healthier emotionally and mentally, then you should as well physically. I know people suffering from headaches and stomach aches and autoimmune diseases, and they all feel a whole hell of a lot better when they're out of these narcissistic abusive relationships and their brain trusts them that they won't do it anymore. Yeah, those are some signs. Thanks for asking. And anybody feel free to go down below and talk about some other signs that you know of, because there's a ton more. Jamal. Don't know where you're from. Please tell us your locations, people. Let us know where you're at. Thanks. Will a borderline personality disorder who ended the relationship ever contact you again, and how you should react to it during no contact? Will a borderline person who ended the relationship with you ever contact you again? So if they do, how should you react? Well, I'm not going to tell you how you should react. If you're talking about emotional reaction, that's your body responding, and I can't tell you, and you're not really going to be able to control it that easy anyways. Maybe you're asking me what you should do, and what you do doesn't matter either. All that matters is how you feel. Protect yourself, Jamal. That's more important than being polite. Protect yourself, okay? And then it does matter how we treat people, okay? Walking away from an abuser after you see them and they come up and say hi to you and you just walk away from them and ignore them, that's not really that rude. I mean, if they abused you, you don't have to say hi. You don't have to do anything. It doesn't matter. We put too much pressure on what we should do. That comes from your parents, Jamal. Okay, your parents obviously taught you that what you do matters. Maybe they didn't love you unconditionally. Maybe they had conditions on the attention they gave you. You should listen to your body, and if it's really scared, just leave. Okay, it doesn't matter what you do, and you don't have to do anything, and you don't owe this person or any other person except yourself anything. Okay, I don't mean to be vague, but I don't like to tell people what to do. Definitely don't want to tell people how they should react or feel. Okay, thank you. And I got a question here from Delilah in California. I think I'm going to make a separate video for this one. Hi, David. Thank you for your videos. Delilah from California here. My question is regarding going no contact. I want to go no contact with my narcissist, but I have stopped calling them your narcissist. Okay? But I have an extraordinary, I'm just trying to help you. But I have an extraordinary amount of guilt because we're coming up on a trauma loss anniversary for her. I feel as though I can't abandon her during this time. She already discarded me, but she has been hoovering me. I panic when she contacts me. Do you have any thoughts on this or words of advice about no contact guilt? And see, I call codependency, right? It's like pulling two dogs apart. You know, here you are still like, oh, I know she totally abused me and I know she discarded me, but I don't want her to go through some emotional pain, you know? It's like, why? What are you going to do? You want to comfort her? You know, there's nothing you can do. And that just makes you feel bad. That just makes you feel bad. You compromise yourself. Someone treats me like dirt and I'm there for them. Right? Feels bad. Don't do it. How do you not do it? Get help if you can't do it on your own. And I'm sure you can't. And I don't suggest that you try. I suggest that you get help. Okay? We got to get help. There's a certain amount of surrendering to this and asking for help, being vulnerable. There's so much in committing, saying I need help, committing to it, investing in it. It's just a whole. You're worth it. You're worth it. This is your life. This is your brain. It's worth it. You're worth it. Your future's worth it. Get help. That's what it's for. I help my clients with this. They would tell you. I do. Okay? I'm so sorry. But I think I'm going to make a separate video about that possibly tomorrow. About no contact. Thanks. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to have to, it's already been, I'm going to have to make 3 parts again, like I did last week. It's good. Lots of questions. Good. And I'm trying to be more thorough. Thanks, guys. This is the end of part 2. Please, if you can, like, dislike, subscribe, share, post. If you want to hire me as your life coach, daviddemars.com. And I'll see you in part 3. Love yourself first.